Hey everybody, this is Joseph Hasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to a special edition of NFL Blitz. Yes, conference finals Sunday with the two-time Emmy Award winner Mark Everett Kelly, Angie. Well, Mark, I don't know what you did with Angie. She comes in, she doesn't come in, but we're going to continue with Championship Sunday. But before we get to Championship Sunday, I just quickly want your opinion on college football championship Monday, I guess it was. A good game at the end, but all in all, Indiana capturing the first title, 16-0, and it was a good game against the U.
Yeah, I mean, first team to win 16 games. They made plays when they needed to. Mendoza made some unbelievable plays, and Signetti had some incredible guts to go for it on fourth down and key parts of the game. And I think this is kind of the new way of coaching that's been going on for a while. You know, people go by analytics, but a lot of coaches, I think it started in pros, probably like Belichick. I know Parcells used to go for it a lot on fourth down, but now it's at the point where, it's systematically, okay, what's the percentage telling us? And Signetti and Indiana this year, with all the transfers they had from James Madison and the veteran team that they had, they made very few mistakes, and they were able to capitalize on some of those things against, some very, very good teams, beating Alabama, beating Oregon, and then beating a Miami team that had beaten Ohio State and Ole Miss.
So right now, in the final question in college football, if I asked you, are they the favorite for next year?
It all depends on what he does. If Signetti takes the Oakland Raiders offer, Davis's offer, and goes and coaches them, no.
No. All right. So let's get to Championship Sunday. Again, AFC, we'll start off with the AFC. And it's a little bit, I don't know, since Denver beat the Bills and they lost
What
their
a
number
joke.
one.
It's a joke. Let's say what it is. It's a joke.
Okay, what do you, everybody knows I'm biased, but what did you think of, first of all, was it a catch?
Yes. Well,
Second of all,
it was a catch in the Rams Bears game, so it had to be a catch.
okay. So second of all, okay, like it was a catch, Buffalo, whatever.
And I
Then
don't care about Buffalo. I really don't.
okay, be quiet. Then the Pagula comes out with a special announcement. Oh yeah, Josh was crying and he had to fire based on that game. He had to fire the coach. Then they go on Coleman and say, well, it wasn't Bean's choice or whatever. But then they show Bean making the choice. He's the number one choice. There's nobody else there. Like, what is going on? Like, from honestly, a step away from going to like 2-3 Super Bowls,
and
now being the laughing stock of the NFL.
You're not the laughing stock of the NFL. The Jets are. Okay. And here's the other thing. What would you rather? Them getting to the Super Bowl and losing, or them losing this way?
No, I don't want to go to the Super Bowl again and losing. No, I don't want to go to the Super Bowl and losing. But I'd rather not make it this far and lose also. Like,
okay.
You have, again, like I could say this about all my teams. You talk about the Jets, but all my teams, the Buffalo Bills, cursed. The Maple Leafs, cursed. The Blue Jays, the ball goes in the wall.
Blue Jays aren't cursed.
Like everything here. But
no, the Maple Leafs, you can make a point. Yes. Bills maybe a point. But not Toronto.
With the Buffalo Bills, it's I don't know what this guy Pagula's doing. It changed around the Buffalo Sabres. They're one of the best teams. Okay, they fired the GM, and they're one of the best teams. Now the GM is there. They promoted him to president and fired the coach who has arguably.
Yeah, who cares about the Sabres? Yeah, I mean, just if you're asking me what's going to happen to the Bills, I don't think they should have fired McDermott. I think he was a great coach. Again, they didn't make the playoffs from 2000 to 2016. Now, I know he wasn't the one that broke the streak, but he's the one that's created this success that they have now, success they haven't had since Marv Levy. And, playoffs can be a crapshoot. They've gotten a number of bad calls, almost where you think the game's fixed against them. Now, I'm not saying it was, because I don't have a horse in a race, but just from watching the games, if I was a Bills fan, I'd be heartbroken. However, they're still very talented. They still got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and they're going to be a contender as long as he's there. And he's going to be there at least another 5 strong years. So you have more chances to get back to the Super Bowl, and that's really all you can ask for.
So let me ask you this final thought about the Buffalo Bills, and then we'll move on. If you had the GM chair, okay, who would you select as you get the cream of the crop of all these coaches and all that? Would you select Bill Belichick and bring Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator? Who would you select?
No, I think Belichick's the most overrated coach in the history of football. Again, we've talked about this. All he's done in the Super Bowl is allow the opposing team to tie the game, or go ahead and just bet every Super Bowl, except for the Seattle one where the defensive back made a great play and then he benched them. So I think you and I were talking. I like Brian Flores too. I think he'd be great. I think if they could work out a deal with the Steelers and get Tomlin, that'd be great too. Remember the Jets did that with Parcells? Remember the Jets did that with Parcells in 96, in 96, 97. So it can be done if they want it done. Well, those would be my choices.
I wouldn't even want Tomlin. I just Flores has decided to stay with the Minnesota Vikings. He's the coordinator for the Vikings, and I'd rather stay there. So to him. All right, now let's get to.
But wait, why do we have to watch the Patriots play another Super Bowl? I can't stand it.
Well, they're not going to wait and play another Super Bowl. There's one game there. What about if Jarrett Stidham turns out a Vinny Testaverde or whatever? Yeah. Come on.
There's no way an Auburn quarterback is going to.
Hold on, and let me ask you a question, because they're saying now that if Bo Nix can possibly return for the Super Bowl.
What are they going to do? Wheel him out in a?
Well, it's a small fraction. You said if everything goes well, he can play for the Super Bowl.
Do you really see them beating New England?
Mark, all honesty, Super Bowl's my birthday. I'm waiting for a big prime present from you, since I'm promoting your sponsors and all that. Okay. I expect a big time present from you. Forget about this NBA 2K26 there. All right, I expect a big. I already have it. Anyway. Yeah, 25. But I expect a big time present from you. All right, so you picking the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. Unfortunately, you're going to pick the Patriots, right?
Well, look, they beat the Chargers because the Chargers are gutless. Let's admit it. Okay, Herbert is gutless. They beat the Texans because C.J. Stroud played one of the worst games any quarterback's played in the history of football in the playoffs. And now they get, again, escorted right to the championship game, and they'll get escorted right to the Super Bowl. And I've seen this. I've just watched this for 20 years. I got to watch it again. Give somebody else a chance. No offense to the Patriot fans out there. Well, I probably do mean to offend them, but I'm just sick of it. And, now, of course, Stidham gets hurt now. And I don't like the Broncos either, believe me. I felt the Bills should be in this game. They should be definitely playing this game. It should be at New England, and they should have a chance to beat them and earn their way to the Super Bowl, and they don't. And now Broncos and Patriots have both lost the most Super Bowls too. So,
all right, so unfortunately you're going with the Patriots. So that's a 3:00 game. The 6:30 NFC Championship game should be a very good one. It is Seattle at home playing the LA Rams, and coincidentally, there's 5 MVPs. Josh Allen's up there, and McCaffrey's up there, but Stafford and Drake May is up there. So, are we going to have Stafford against Drake May in the Super Bowl?
So Seattle has surprised me every step of the way. I didn't think Seattle would be good at all this year. I didn't pick them in a lot of games early on. And all they've done is gone on to get the home field advantage in the NFC, and now they're playing in the NFC Championship game, and they absolutely manhandled the Niners. The Rams are better. I think the Rams are at the point where this is Stafford's, one of his last chances to win another Super Bowl. I think they're motivated a little bit differently than San Francisco was. And I mean, who could forget that game that they played a couple weeks ago, where Seattle actually came back and won, and they had that absolutely obscene play on a 2-point conversion where he fumbled and they got a touchdown out of it. Some weird things happened to Seattle that have been very good for them. I'm still not used to seeing Sam Darnold win 14 games with the Vikings and now win 15, 16 games with Seattle. It is what it is, but I'm going to take the Rams because I haven't taken Seattle all year, and so why do it now?
All right, so that's the two-time, and that's 3 times.
But I've been horrible with my picks this year, so
yes. So he's picking the New England Patriots in the AFC, the 3 p.m. game, and he's picking the Rams in the NFC, the 6:30 games. New England and the Rams in Super Bowl February 8th, Super Bowl 60 at Santa Clara, California, according to Mark Everett Kelly. Now, let's just say it is MVP versus MVP. We'll have a preview of that in 2 weeks there. But in NFL-wise, so far, has anything surprised you with the coaches' vacancies, with the GM vacancies, with the hiring of coaches, with the hiring of GMs, there's out there, believe it or not, just today, there's out there that Baltimore may be looking to trade Lamar Jackson to Oakland for the first pick in this year's draft.
None of that's going to happen. I mean, and I'm not really surprised by any of it. Maybe Harbaugh getting fired, but Lamar Jackson wanted him fired. I'm surprised that they chose him over Harbaugh, but I guess you're going to take your quarterback. We'll see what happens with the Super Bowl. But I got to get back to class here. But
all right,
hopefully it won't be boring. Yes. So we have the Cattle Stampede over here in Fort Payne. You always let me promote them, which I'm very thankful for. They have a weekend special, which you get $8.99 for a buffet for breakfast, which is great. And they have their early bird special, 3 to 6, every day of the week, full buffet for $10.99. And then you have Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City Auto Sales over in Gadsden and in Fort Payne. If you need a car, once you buy from Bobby, once you buy for the rest of your life.
All right, that's Mark Everett Kelly. Enjoy championship weekend this weekend, and Mark will be back here 2 weeks to preview my birthday party and the Super Bowl. Thanks a lot, Mark.